Okay, you'll either love me or hate me for this, but I'm sick of like seeing all these entrepreneurs going around learning how to do things by themselves, how to yap, how to write content, how to do trial reels, learning all the tips and tricks. And I say this as someone who spent years doing all this work for our clients, who also spending years teaching to and learning myself how to do things by myself as a business owner. Because like, don't get me wrong, while I think it's amazing to learn to upskill yourself, at some point in your business, the belief I can do it myself become one of the most costing, most expensive belief in your business that stop you from actually growing your business. Entrepreneurs are one of the most capable people on this planet Earth, right? You can do content, you can do bookkeeping, you can sales, you can market, you can network, you can learn AI, and you can get really good at doing all of this. You are so capable. But at some point in your business growth level, that will be your biggest weakness. And here's why. Now, I've worked with over 200 clients across the globe as a marketing agency and a dozen of 7 and 8 figures business owner and a 6 and multi 6 figures business owner. And something that I noticed is this: the 7 and 8 figures, especially the 8 figures business owner, they didn't get to their 8 figures business by getting good at everything by themselves. No, this is how 8 figures business owner that I've noticed build their business. The founders is great at the vision, the message, and 1 or 2 areas in their business. For example, I've seen founders who actually great at content, so they double down on that. There are founders who are great at speaking, so they're the one who double down on their speaking. But I have not seen an 8-figure business owner who's like, I am good at everything, and I've got there by being the solo person who is good at everything. No, that's why they hire me. Why? Because they know for a fact to build a 7, multi-7, and 8 figures business, the only way is to bring talents on board to work with them. Hire people who are better than them at the things that they don't know, instead of trying to become the person who are best at everything. And so if you're wanting to grow, if you want to go past that 20K month, if you want to go past that 30K month, if you want to get to a 7-figure business, here's food for thought for you. There is a trade-off in you being the solo person and getting good at everything that you don't realize. And that trade-off is you can either learn to be the solo person who will get really good at everything, and at some point the business is going to be capped at your capacity, at your nervous system, at your ability to expand yourself, or you can learn to get good at leadership. You can learn to get good at hiring the right people. You can learn to get good at communicating your brand, your message to someone else that they can then be the one who takes that to the next level. You can learn to get good at finding the right people to be on your team, finding the right contractor to work with. And that's leadership, which a lot of people avoid because it's much easier to work on yourself and get good at it yourself than working with other people and get good at working with other people. If anything, I dare say that's the number 1 skill and number 1 identity shift that leads my clients to the next level, which is why one of my clients get from a month to $2.5 million a year, because they make that decision early on that they're not going to be the solo person. Even though they're good at it, they could be good at it, they're not going to be the solo person who make it happen. They already know. That is a leadership mindset. That is a 7, 8 figure decision that you need to make again and again. So you can choose to either get good at every single thing in your business, which is going to cap you at your capacity, or you can get good at finding the right people, culture, leadership, holding the vision, working with others. Yeah. And let's say, so what? You hire an agency and it doesn't work out. And you go, the lesson is I should not hire the agency. I should just do it myself. No, the lesson is get freaking good at finding the right people, know how to select the right people, collect the vision, and bring that vision to the person, know how to communicate that, know how to work with others. Yeah, which is a much harder skill. Leadership is a much harder skill that a lot of us avoid. Trusting other people is a much harder skill that a lot of us avoid. That is the thing that's going to take you to the next level. Now, if you want to have a conversation about this, my DM is open. Let's chat.